My family made my wedding all about them, and most of them didn't even show up.
How did they do that?
Me, 31 female, and my now husband, 36 male, and I got married in September. I was so excited to get engaged, and I knew we were going to have a small wedding party because neither of us have a lot of friends. We ended up having only 3 people each. By the way, this comes from Wopete from the r/OK Storytime subreddit. My maid of honor is my absolute best friend, and my bridesmaids was a close friend of mine and my sister. My husband had his best man, who was his brother-in-law, and his groomsmen were 2 of his close friends. Everything was great at first. Everyone agreed to be part of the wedding, and everyone seemed to be super excited about it. As time went on and it was getting closer to the wedding, I'd say probably 4 or 5 months out, my sister started to seem a bit off when it came to the wedding stuff. I had asked her what days that she would be in town for the wedding. She goes on to tell me that she will be out of town around the time of the wedding, but she swore that she would be flying and would be there. Then she goes on to tell me that she's having anxiety about coming up here and that she would come the day of the wedding.
That's not going to give you any anxiety.
It's going to work out so perfectly. Well, I told her that she needed to be there at least the day before the wedding because of the rehearsal. She agreed to come to the day before, but said that she would not stay after the wedding, that she would leave that night to go home. She lives about 9 hours away, and the wedding ended at 10 p.m. I tried telling her that she would probably be too tired to drive all the way back 9 hours again after the wedding due to the fact that it was going to be a long day for us. She still didn't want to stay. I figured that was her choice. Fast forward another 2 months, and me and my future sister-in-law and all of the moms of the wedding were shopping for the mother's dresses. My mom, who is a complete narcissist, shows up and is civil due to the fact that other people are around. My mom and I don't have the best relationship, but she lives close by and she is my mother, so I invited her to go shopping with us. She only tried on one dress, then threw a big stank that none of the dresses were her style and then disappeared. No one knew where she had gone, so we just continued to shop without her. What is happening? She leaves with no dress, then complained to me that no one would talk to her or even paid any attention to her. I just shook it off because I was already irritated at her and I just didn't feel like dealing with it. After I got home, my mom started sending me photos of these awful dresses that were not suitable for a mother of the bride dress. Mom was trying to get some at this wedding. I started sending her dresses back, and she kept telling me that none of the dresses I was sending were her style. I told her that the dresses she was picking were way too casual for the wedding. Then she went on to complain that the dresses I was picking were too expensive. They were all under $50. So I offered to pay half of the dress, and she still refused. After about 2 hours of arguing back and forth, we finally settled on a dress for her, even though she still wasn't happy. I agreed for her to wear a belt with a dress just to get her to wear a dress that was suitable for the wedding. I thought it was going to be just to wear a dress and not just show up, in her
I'm just showing up wearing my belt.
Yeah. She didn't even wear the belt in the wedding at the end. Now, it's a month out from the wedding. I check in with the bridesmaids and maid of honor to see if they have received their dresses. As I'm talking to my sister about it, she informed me that she still hadn't even ordered her dress. I told her that she needed to order it now because it takes 3 weeks to come in, and if she waits any longer, then she wouldn't receive the dress in time. She told me she was in the middle of switching jobs and that she was getting paid the next day and would just order the dress then. A week goes by. I asked my sister if she ordered the dress. She says she told me that she had. Thank God. So she received the dress about a week before the wedding, and she told me that it fit. Well, that was a crisis averted.
I'm gonna say that's a lie. I'm gonna do a 180. She's doing a fib right now.
The week of the wedding, Monday, I got a call from my maid of honor, and she tells me that all of a sudden she's canceled her flight. Apparently, they decided that they are no longer going to have a direct flight here. So we are in a panic trying to get her another flight. Finally, we found one in an airport that's 3 hours away. The next problem we had was getting her from the airport to the wedding venue on the day she comes in. We had the venue from Thursday to Sunday, and we were all staying there as well. The reason it was an issue was because the time her flight came in was the same time that we needed to be at the venue to decorate. Due to the fact that she was coming in from far away, my maid of honor had also planned my bridal shower to be the day before the wedding. So because of being short on time Thursday, that was the only day we could decorate. Eventually, we found a bus that would take her to the city that she was supposed to fly into, and now my husband was able to get her from there and get back to the venue quickly after. Wednesday, I get a phone call from my dad, and he informs me that he can't make it to the wedding.
I'm no longer anxious. The anxious is gone. I'm anxiety Gone.
Hey, well, guys, at least he called the day of.
Oh, thank God. I'm so unstressed out. There's no stress.
He goes on to tell me that he doesn't have the money for the gas to drive up. I was devastated and a little mad because he has known about my wedding for a year at this point. He did not have money set aside for my wedding. I told my now husband, and we agreed to send him the money for him to come up to the wedding. We all make it to the venue and start the decorating process. I got a phone call from my maid of honor, and she tells me that her bus didn't stop at the airport and she didn't really know what was going on. She said that everyone was confused and didn't know where they needed to go for that bus. And of course, you can't look it up yourself. I told her to keep me updated and let me know what they do about it. She texted me saying that they got onto a bus and that she was finally on her way. A huge relief. Now time goes by and we are all knocking out the decorations when my dad arrives. I take him to the cottage that he was staying at and help him get all settled in. He comes back up to the main house where everyone was. We get to talking and my dad informed me that my brother wouldn't be coming to the wedding.
They're all out of gas. It's just a gasless family.
The fact that everyone's just coming up with like the lamest excuses to not go to this wedding.
Question.
I think everyone's in on it.
These people don't deserve it. But we're going to see. Apparently, my brother's car broke down and it took a lot of money to get it fixed. I really didn't care much because I hadn't spoken to him in years. Then he goes on to tell me that my sister's car is also broken down and that she, in fact, Keon, wasn't out of town and that she was at home. He knows this because she lives with him. I was in a panic because she was supposed to be coming in tomorrow for the rehearsal. So I started calling and calling my sister and she wasn't even answering the phone. So I started forming a plan to ask a friend that I've gotten close to in the last year to step in. We talked about going to a dress shop and getting last minute dress and just everyone wearing different dresses to make it seem like it was supposed to look like that. Then she finally texted me. We texted back and forth and she told me that she got her car back and would in fact be there.
We love the consistency.
So relieved, Opie says.
Just flip a coin.
Just flip a coin.
They gonna be here? I don't know. Let's consult the coin.
Just run away. Run away from these people. We continued the decorating. Friday, the rehearsal day. We had just gotten back from the bridal shower and I hadn't heard anything from my sister all day. I just figured that she was driving, but I decided to call her. No answer. So I texted her and asked her what her ETA was, her estimated time of arrival. Some time goes by and I still haven't heard from her. So I tried calling her again. Still nothing. The time of the rehearsal comes and I get a text from my sister. It says, I'm sorry, but I can't come. I love you and hope you can forgive me. I just have so much anxiety about the situation and having to come back to Maine. It's been stressing me out and giving me panic attacks. And I'm sorry. I love you. I hope you can understand.
You have anxiety?
She has anxiety, Keon.
That's fine.
What happened to all these people that, they can't go back to Maine? What are they all, characters in Stephen King books?
They locked down the borders. My heart sank. My maid of honor knew something was wrong. I show her the text and I run out of the room so I can cry my eyes out. I had a feeling she was going to do this, but I just didn't want to believe it. We are pretty close and I just couldn't believe that she would let me down like that. I didn't even respond to her because it was so late we didn't have time to even ask my other friend to get other dresses, so we just had to have an uneven wedding party. I wipe my eyes and I just move on. The rehearsal went well. We had lots of laughs. We had a wonderful bonfire before the wedding. Saturday, the wedding day. Luckily, my wedding day went so smoothly and I was so thankful because of all the fires we had to keep putting out. So after everyone that I invited out of all of my family, only 2 people showed up. My mom and dad showed up, and honestly, it was just so awkward between all of us. The day after my wedding, my maid of honor told me that when I was getting ready, my mom was complaining the entire time about the dress that I wanted her to wear, and my maid of honor told her that that dress was beautiful. When my mom went to leave, she changed out of the dress and ran into my maid of honor in the house, and she threw the dress at her and told her, if you like it so much, you can keep it. I couldn't believe that my mom was still stewing over that dress that I had picked. Needless to say, I'm completely done with my family, and now I have a new one that is apparently amazing and so supportive. I love every single one of them, and we have an update. So the wedding is over. It seemed like everything before the wedding was just like nuclearly exploding left, right, and center. The wedding day itself, according to OP, went great, but it seems we are not done yet.
Full conspiracy.
Yes.
Mom is a nightmare, and then dad is just like, I don't have gas money. Dad Dad is completely inept and mom is an absolute nightmare.
About a week or so after my wedding, my sister messaged me wanting to talk. Her and I went back and forth for a while, and she told me that the reason she had so much anxiety the day of was that she was supposed to show up was because her car's check engine light came back on once she got into car to leave that morning. I told her that the reason I was so upset was because she had waited all day to tell me she wasn't coming, and that's why it hurt so much. I wanted her there, and that's why if she would have told me that was going on when it happened, I would have been hurt so much that she was there. I also deal with anxiety and do understand not wanting to let people down. I'm a very understanding person, and I know these things happen. But there's some other things that happen, which includes us uploading full stories just like these in episodes you can check out on Spotify. Just search OK Storytime on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or where you love to listen to podcasts. Guys, it's there, full episodes. I really think we need to go low contact.
Yeah.
No one here is giving a molecular ounce of effort for your wedding.
Yeah.
So what are they going to do on a regular basis other than, if something big happens, you can still reach out to them, but you don't have to worry about them. Don't invite them to your wedding or anything ever again. Anyways, we talked and I told her that I just needed some time, but that I still love her. She understands that I needed some time to move past it. Her and I are good now and we talk regularly. I don't hate my sister. And I was just hurt that someone that I wanted so badly to be a part of my wedding left me hanging at the very last minute. If the roles were reversed, I definitely wouldn't have had anxiety about it as well, but I would have still called or texted my sister what was going on. As for me and the rest of the family, I've been low contact with them all since the wedding. After hearing what others have to say about similar situations with their families, I'm debating going full no contact with them, everyone except for my sister. Me and my husband are doing amazing, and we couldn't be happier with the life that we have together. I'm looking forward to seeing what life holds for us in the future. And that is it right there.